Let's talk about GoPro SD cards. 2 years ago I published a video on my channel that talks about the best SD cards for your GoPro. Now, this was like 2 years ago, so I feel like it's kind of outdated, and with this video I want to explain you my favorite 3 SD cards to use with your GoPro Hero 12 or even with previous models like GoPro Hero 11, 10, 9, 8 and so on, and why you need to choose specific SD cards for your GoPro. Let's start by saying that the type of memory card should be a micro SD card. So this is the micro SD card that I'm talking about. It's the small version of the SD card. And the SD card is basically a bigger version of the card. So this is an adapter. Like I've got another adapter here from Samsung. I always like to buy micro SD cards that come with the adapter because I also use the adapters to be read with my computer, so sometimes I need the bigger version. Inserts here in the slot of your GoPro. Just by inserting it and pushing it, it has to click inside, so make sure it's inside properly. The memory card speed, it's very important, so it should be at least V30 or U30. This is like a rating that it shouldn't be below that, otherwise your GoPro won't be able to record everything on the card properly. So make sure it's at least V30. Now let's move on to the recommended capacity. Depending on how long you want to shoot and what resolution you're using and what kind of settings you're using, then you want to have a different capacity. So what I recommend mostly it's capacities from 32 gigabytes, if not 64 gigabytes even better, up to 512 gigabytes. All the cameras don't accept huge memory cards like 1 gigabyte or 512 gigabytes just because they are a bit old, but the new GoPro Hero 12 as well as the next GoPros, I guess, will accept like bigger capacities like 1 gigabytes and above. So to be safe, don't buy huge capacities, just stick around 256 to 512 gigabytes. Those should have enough capacity to for a full day of recording, for a full day shooting, and they are not so expensive. But why do you need a high-speed SD card? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Especially the latest GoPros like GoPro Hero 12, GoPro Hero 11 can shoot at a high resolution with a high frame rate, and they have a quite high bit rate. Like they can shoot at 10 bits as a bit rate. So this is quite demanding for your SD card, meaning that the data that passes from the camera while you're recording to the SD card is pretty demanding. So that is why GoPro requires an SD card of at least V30, which is the category, a specific category of SD card. There is V30 and then there is V60, which is a level above, which is even faster. So anything above V30 should be compatible with your GoPro Hero 12. That's why I always recommend to get like one of these. For example, I like the Samsung Evo Select. It works pretty well with GoPro Hero 12, so this is the first card I recommend. Another card that I really like and I never had a problem with it, it's the Lexar 1000X. This is even faster, it's V60, so it accepts like even more demanding video settings. So that's the other one, which came with the adapter, the Lexar SD adapter. And then last but not least is the Sandisk Extreme. This is very popular and it's quite cost effective, and I really like this brand, the Sandisk Extreme. This is a 64 gigabyte, but if you have to buy a new card, I would either recommend you to get like a few of them, like 2 or 3 of 64 or 128 gigabytes, or a bigger one. If you don't want to get multiple SD cards, you want to just buy one, then I would recommend you to get at least 256 gigabytes. So you won't run out of memory while you're shooting. I mean, nowadays memory cards are pretty cost effective, they're pretty cheap, especially if you buy them on Amazon. They often do discounts, and yeah, I always buy them on Amazon, to be honest, unless I'm in some remote places that there is no Amazon and I need to go to the shop. But yeah, Samsung, Sandisk and Lexar are my 3 favorite SD cards for GoPro. Now you might be wondering, how long can you record with these SD cards. It all depends from the video settings that you choose. If you have a high resolution video setting, if you put a higher resolution like 5.3K at a high frame rate, the file size will be way bigger. As a consequence, you will be able to record less footage on your SD card. So you always kind of have to find a compromise, right, between the capacity of your SD card and the resolutions that you set on your GoPro. I like to set a resolution of most of the times just because the file size is quite okay, it's not huge, unless I have to like zoom in post-production. Like if I have to zoom in post-production, if I want like a portion of the frame and I don't want to lose quality, then I will choose 4K or 5.3K. To be kind of always safe, again, I recommend to buy a few SD cards so you'll have more capacity. Even if they're full, you might have some, spare SD cards that you can always use. Now, if you are just getting started with your GoPro Hero 12, I recommend you to watch this video up here. Oh, wait, don't forget to like and subscribe if this video was useful. Bye.